Smile, John.
Yeah.
All right.
Good evening. It's June 16th, Monday, 2025, and it's my pleasure and distinct honor to speaking with Mr. John J. Jeckovich. How are you doing today?
I'm doing good, thank you.
You're looking quite well today. You're looking chipper. I like your new sweater. I like your new shoes and pants. You're doing pretty good today.
Yeah,
How was your dinner?
very good.
I heard you had a special visitor.
Yeah, Mary was there. Mary and Gary.
I thought you had Amber.
Amber, yeah, Amber's sick though.
Yeah, but she'll get better.
Yeah.
Amber was with you today, right?
Huh?
Amber was with you today, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Amber is Mr. Jeckovich's great-granddaughter, a beautiful, fine lady. A girl, I mean, she's a full-time missionary and an avid surfer. And what did you and her do today?
Huh?
What did you and her do today?
We didn't do much.
No?
She slept a half an hour.
Oh. It's nice that she comes over and visits you so often.
Keeps you company.
Keeps you company.
Yeah.
Amber has great empathy, she sure does. And which is empathy is the glue to humanity. So Amber at a young age has got the secret to life. Empathy, the glue to humanity. She's got it down. She travels the world, Bible in one hand, surfboard in the other. There's not a continent she hasn't been on.
She's still in houses yet.
Preaching a good word. How's your Bible look?
Huh?
How's your Bible look?
Our Bible's all worn out.
Yeah, that's a good sign. You certainly don't want to know a missionary with a nice new Bible. So you're feeling pretty well today?
Huh?
You feeling pretty well today? Are you feeling well today?
Oh yeah.
You're in damn good shape. Mr. Jeckovich was born in 1925, yeah. 1925. And now we're in 2025, and we're knocking on the door of 100.
Yeah.
Hear the knocks?
Yeah. That's eternity coming up.
When Mr. Jeckovich was born, things are much different. People were so patriotic. They all love parts of being with a family. How is it now?
It's altogether different.
Yeah. When Mr. Jeckovich was a boy, gasoline was 7 cents a gallon. You could fill up your big 21-foot car for $1.25. Brand new houses were $2,000.
Yeah. When we bought that house, the first time was $36,000.
Yeah.
Brand new house.
And beautiful automobiles were $500. So times are much simpler there. You know, of course, every day we get so many text messages in. The top two are always about longevity and about your book. Those are the top two. But lately, a lot of people have been asking on how to start a laundromat. I think most people today are looking for ways to become an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
Because their job is not enough money, or their job is not satisfying enough, or their job is not challenging enough. So they knew that you were in the laundromat business.
That's the worst place to get in. They'll tear you apart now. Different culture now. I never started a laundromat now.
How was it when you were in the laundromat?
Real peaceful. You say the poor people, the best people are West behaved people.
And how is it now?
They're crazy.
You think it's because of the mentality of people?
That's not mentality, just the way they live it now.
Yeah.
That's the culture.
It's not nice. But let's put aside the culture for right now.
25 minutes.
Let's put aside the culture right now. Let's just talk about the logistics and the mechanics of opening a laundromat. Let's just talk about that. Give us complete detail what someone would have to do from beginning to end to open a laundromat.
You have to hit the right location. You gotta get a poor neighborhood. You can't get a neighborhood that's got a washing machine. You gotta get a neighborhood that don't have a washing machine.
Tell us how you find to buy these washing machines.
The what?
Where do you find these commercial washing machines at? Who sells commercial washing machines and dryers?
New York.
I see. And then about how many washers and dryers would you put in a location?
I put 25 dryers and 125 washers.
I see. Would you put extractors in there?
A what?
Would you put extractors in there? Extractors?
Extractor. Took an extractor for 10 cents. It cost you dry it down.
Uh-huh. What would you use, gas or electricity?
I was on gas.
Uh-huh. Would you use gravity fed or pumps for your washers?
Gravity.
Why would you suggest using gravity fed washers?
Because it's cheaper.
I see. And effective. Would you use water softeners?
Softer, has softer, yeah.
A lot of the new places are opening up laundromats where they don't accept money, just some type of like a credit card type of thing.
Yeah.
Would you ever resort to that?
No, that's terrible.
Because when the computers are down, you're out of business.
Yeah,
There's no computers when you have
yeah,
dollar bills.
yeah.
What other type of sundries would you put in the laundromat, like candy machines and Coke machines?
Put a phone in,
What?
regular phone,
Yeah.
and put dispenser machines for candy, cigarettes, pop and that.
How about soap?
Soap, packages of soap for them.
What don't most people understand when you put soap in a commercial washer, that you must understand you put less soap because of the...
Well, I had noticed all over soft water because I use a lot of soap.
And what did you notice to say?
It's that the soft water because I use a lot of soap.
Because it expands, it multiplies
Yeah.
the soap.
Plugs it up.
Yeah. And what type of mechanical troubles could these new entrepreneurs look forward to getting with their machines? What could go wrong with the machines?
The motors, first of all.
How often do you change the motor?
Well, I change probably a motor once a week.
Right.
Delphin and I go to Buffalo, get a new motor.
And you didn't buy a new motor, you had it rewound, right?
Well, yeah. Rewind it.
Yeah, okay. And what type of furnace system would you use to heat the hot water?
Gas.
Did a lot of people complain if the water wasn't hot?
Oh yeah, because we were under limited. We didn't make it big enough. But when they got busy in there, they were running out of hot water.
At home, do you wash your clothes in cold or hot water?
Hot water.
Do a lot of people wash them in cold water? What do you think?
If they go to the laundromat, I don't know what they do now. They go to a laundromat that's busy, they run out of hot water.
I see. But I see a lot of commercials for soap products being sold. They're using cold water. What do you think of that?
No, I wouldn't do that.
You wouldn't do that. Well, you had a little trick that you would tell your wife when she wanted to bring the household clothes to the laundromat. What did you do?
I told them 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, you use those. I washed them, sterilized them. And I put do not start tags at them.
Okay. So before your wife came with the family laundry, you sterilized 4 or 5 washers.
The wife came along and she didn't bring the kids down.
What?
The wife came along and she didn't bring the kids down.
But there was a family clothes.
Yeah.
And you sterilized about 4 or 5 washers. and then you put out of order tags on.
Yeah.
And then when she came, she knew she had a
She
good,
used those, yeah.
clean setup. Did you have to do that with the dryers?
Dryers?
Did you have to do that with the dryers?
No, dryers are different because it's got the heat there to kill it.
Killed it, yeah. Did you have many problems with people putting in pillows?
Yeah, they bring a pillow in and it's a cheap pillow and they put it in the laundromat and the washer and the hot water will dissolve that blanket on it and the feathers are in the washer now.
How long did it take to clean up the feathers?
Probably half a day.
It was a big job.
Yeah.
So you had to shut down the whole washers.
I just shut the one washer down, yeah.
Did the people ever complain that your washer ate up their pillow?
Oh, yeah.
And you got to buy them a pillow one time?
No, I don't want a pill.
No.
You're talking about poor people now. Poor people are real sympathetic.
Yeah.
They go along with you.
They have great empathy.
Yeah, yeah.
They got kind hearts.
They'll try to keep it neat and clean.
They're not trying to swindle you out of anything.
Yeah.
They appreciate having a laundromat. Well, getting back, there's so many young people today aren't satisfied with their jobs, not making enough money with their jobs, and they're desperately seeking some type of business to start. Some type of business where they can make a good income and a future, but laundromats will be around forever.
Yeah.
What would you honestly say to a young person looking at you right now? I want to open a laundromat.
Now don't do it.
Why would you tell them that?
It's too much stress. Too much stress. It's a different culture now. They'll wreck you.
So it's not the stress of the
People come in and just destroy the machines. Look in New York, they destroyed that whole set. You had 45 washers in there, they destroyed them all.
just for the fun of it.
It's for fun of it, yeah.
So logically, it's a good business. It makes money, but your wild card is people that'll just destroy your stuff.
Well, that's a different culture now. It's a different culture now. I've never said a wash machine now. Never washer, laundromat.
What kind of business could they start?
Huh?
Like young people are dying. They're desperate to start some type of business. What kind of business could you tell them to start?
I don't know. It's a bad thing to start a business now.
Because not because of the business,
They don't have the experience to begin with.
because of the customers,
Yeah.
because of the culture.
Well,
Well, we have to look into this further. There's got to be something for these young people we can tell them. There's got to be something we can tell
well,
them.
you don't have trouble with the people that have washing machines. They're set. They're well to do. The ones you worry about the people who don't have the washing machines.
Would you recommend maybe some of them join the service?
Who?
Some young people join the service?
They're better off getting in the service.
Yeah. How about the young people up north starting a snowplow business like you did?
Say what?
How about the young people up north? Would you recommend them to start a snow plowing business?
Well, yeah, and you gotta have the right equipment.
How about you were in construction and remodeling and wallpapering up north? Would you recommend somebody get in that business?
If you had the experience,
Yeah, let's just say they did. Would you recommend that?
well, yeah, but you gotta be pretty good.
Yeah. Your Uncle Andy taught you, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Mr. Jeckovich was from Company H, the 2nd Battalion of the 291st Regiment of the 75th Infantry Division of the U.S. Army during World War II. Mr. Jeckovich lives by the motto, he's got 2 doctors, his left leg and his right leg. His left leg and his right leg. You jogged for 80 years.
Yeah.
No prescriptions.
15.
No vitamins. Did you drink?
No.
Did you smoke?
No.
He lived a pretty clean life, and now here he is at 100. And actually perfect health. Actually in perfect health. He reads 3 newspapers a day, including the Wall Street Journal and the New York Times. Always learning, right?
But,
You're always learning, right?
well,
You're always reading, right?
yeah, that's part of living.
Yeah. And he does all this with no glasses. No glasses at all. None.
Well, now the type's getting smaller now.
Well, 100 years old, yeah, the type itself is getting smaller, but you still beat the system. You could read it. Mr. Jeckovich, how many years have you been retired?
1980.
So you've been retired for 45 years.
Yeah. I just walked off the job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you've been retired for 45 years. Wow.
Punched out and that was it.
Yeah. That was at Kimberly Clark, right?
Yeah.
Mr. Jeckovich has been retired for 45 years. Most people, when they retire at 65, they're dead by 66. You beat the system. You beat the system. I don't know of anyone 100. I keep on thinking every day, who the hell do I know that's 100? I don't know of anybody. You beat the system. In the United States right now, the average lifespan is 76. And now, let's not confuse middle age. Middle age is not 50. Middle age is 38, huh?
Yeah.
Middle age now is 38. Mm-hmm. The days are long, but the years are shorter than you think, right?
Yeah.
Boys and girls, it's a short dance around the sun. It goes by quickly. It goes by quickly. Mr. Jeckovich blinked his eyes at 20 and now he's 100. And the most important thing in your life, Mr. Jeckovich said, if something doesn't feel right, don't settle for it. And don't waste your time. That's all we got is time. Eventually, before the party's over, the only thing you regret is not doing more of the things you like, right?
Yeah.
And the things you like were carpentry,
Yeah. Woodworking.
woodworking, building.
Electrical.
Yeah. And those are the things you did. And those are the things you enjoyed. So it is a short dance around the sun. So boys and girls, I truly wish that you would enjoy every minute of it. Because it goes by quickly, right? Yeah. You know, Mr. Jeckovich wasn't, they say it 100 times, we'll say it 100 more. He was in the greatest generation of all time. World War II, frontline infantry. He was shot in the shoulder by a sniper.
Lost a hip.
Lost a hip, physically beat up and stabbed simultaneously. Has shrapnel still in his body. Trench foot and frostbite.
Yeah, I got that silver frostbite right now.
80 years later, you still suffer from frostbite on a daily and a nightly basis.
Yeah, especially at night.
Yeah. These are teenage boys that went in that war. Mr. Jeckovich was part of the most selfless and courageous operation in the history of human mankind. Battle of Bulge, World War II. Mr. Jeckovich left his home to help out complete strangers with he had nothing in common with. You left your home to go to Europe and Germany to fight, and you didn't.
I was drafted.
I understand. We'll explain the reason that in a minute why you were drafted, but when you were overseas, you had nothing in common with those people.
No.
They were complete strangers.
Yeah.
And you went there to help. You gave it its all. How? How can we? May we be worthy of Mr. Jeckovich's legacy and all the other young boys and all the other young boys of World War II. How can we? How can we be worthy of their legacy with all this nonsense and frivolous crap going on today which means nothing? These boys are the true fighters. If it wasn't for these boys during World War II, I assure you we'd have no rights, we'd have no First Amendment, and we'd be speaking German today. I guarantee you that. So this guy saved the day with all these other fighters. There were 16,400,000 young men and women from the United States that participated in World War II. Yeah, 16,400,000 young men and women. That's a lot. And now we're down to less than 5,000 frontline infantry fighters like Mr. Jeckovich. And we're losing them at a rate of 150 a day. They're all in their early hundreds.
Well, the young kids are coming up now. 82nd Airborne, they're all young. You see those kids on TV? They're all young.
That looked refreshing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those are kids coming up now.
That looked refreshing.
Yeah.
To see the 87 Airborne.
Yeah.
Looked refreshing. It looked refreshing. Because there's been wars for 1,000 years prior. There'll be wars for 1,000 years more. There's always going to be wars. And mothers, you can't sissify your boys. They have to be tough. They have to be strong. They have to be fighters. Because they'll be in a war eventually. You got to keep them tough, make them tough. Don't make wimps out of them, right?
Yeah.
Did your mother make a wimp out of you?
No.
Hell no. She was tough on you. She was tough on you. So
Yeah, she was a
do.
good mother.
Huh?
She was a good mother.
Damn right she was a good mother. Damn right she was a good... She did the right thing. She made you tough.
Yeah.
If your mother didn't make you tough...
Well, to begin with, she was tough.
Yeah?
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Because she came from...
She didn't go to parties and all that.
She came from a hard life.
Yeah.
And your father died 39, 40.
And she's a widower.
Yeah, and you took care of her from when you're 11 years old to her demise at 89. That's how we're getting back to that question you mentioned about the draft. Why did you wait to get drafted?
Why did I wait? I didn't take care of my mother.
Yeah, so let me explain this. His two brothers enlisted. When he enlists, there's a good chance he'll get a real easy job. One of his brothers ended up staying in the United States, never seen frontline infantry, and he taught people how to drive Jeeps, right?
Yeah.
Was he some type of expert Jeep?
No, he hit a fire hydrant one time, yeah.
So the Army's...
Yeah, but he was going to school.
But still, he never seen frontline. So by you waiting to be drafted so he could spend more time at home with your mother, you were immediately sent to frontline infantry.
Well, it all depends.
Well, you did. You went to frontline
All
infantry.
depends.
And you were shot up, beat up, stabbed, and everything under the sun actually happened to you there. It truly did. But you're here, and you're tough, and you won many, many accommodations and medals. You sure did. So that's why Mr. Jeckovich waited to be drafted so he could spend more time with his mother. I'll give you some idea of the medals Mr. Jeckovich won during World War II. Bronze Star Medal, Purple Heart Medal, Army Good Conduct Medal, American Campaign Medal, European, African, Middle Eastern Campaign Medal with 3 bronze service stars, World War II Victory Medal, Army of Occupational Medal with Germany clasp, Combat Infantry Badge, Sharpshooter Badge with carbine, pistol, and machine gun bars. You operated a lot of weapons.
Yeah.
Which one was your favorite?
My M1 rifle.
Marksman Badge with rifle bar, and Honorable Service lapel button from World War II. These are all the things you achieved as a teenager. Could you imagine that? How many months or years did you stay out in the woods with no shelter?
Never stayed in a house.
For 2 years you were outside in the snow.
Yeah, yeah.
How'd you survive?
Well,
Just made the best of it?
yeah.
And that's why you got...
Sleeping barn with the hay, with the straw.
Okay, okay.
That's where the patent cost is.
Okay, I want to hear that story. How many?
5 minutes.
I want to hear that story when you finally made it to a barn. What the hell happened?
Well, posted camouflaged the Jeep and the trailer very good. Patton caught it and found us in the barn. Said, get your ass out there, get out to the next checkpoint, right? Go, go, go.
Okay, so let me try to understand this. Post is the driver,
Yeah,
and you guys finally found a barn where you could get under some hay.
yeah,
Hay is your best friend, right?
yeah,
You get warm, some type of warm. And Post is the driver, and he failed to camouflage the
yeah,
Jeep.
and Patton picked it
Patton
up.
was cruising by with a bunch of other people, and he seen it there.
Yeah.
He walked inside, and he gave you hell. Tell us
Yeah,
exactly what he
yeah,
said.
Yeah, 3 o'clock in the morning.
What'd he say?
You get out there, get going, get your ass out, get to the next checkpoint right now. Go, go, go.
Did you ever see him again after that?
Oh yeah, I see him before after that,
Yeah.
yeah.
Wow. So you never were in a house in over 2.5 years,
No,
and your ultimate luxury would be to find a barn that has hay.
yeah,
Oh, wow. Wow. That's amazing. I was looking at some of these papers that I received from the government. There's a couple interesting things here. It says you lived on 3063 Orleans Avenue, Niagara Falls, New York.
that's a dope now.
But it was nice.
Oh yeah, beautiful one, yeah.
And the interesting fact to show you how simple life was back then, didn't you every month pay the mortgage company about $48 for the monthly
Belden,
payments?
pay Belden, I go down there.
What was his name?
Belden,
Belvin.
Yeah.
And was he was like a finance company and a
Yeah,
realtor.
yeah.
And every month you paid him less
well, he
than,
had a half a dozen houses.
yeah. And every month you paid him less than $50, and that was the mortgage.
Yeah, on the book.
Yeah. And you would give him in cash, right? Because you didn't participate in checks.
Yeah,
Wow, that's interesting. I also noticed here before you went into the service, you're in the Niagara Falls High School and Trot Vocational High School simultaneously, and he held down many part-time jobs. One of them was a sheet metal worker with your Uncle Andy at Croysdale.
I helped them all the time. Yeah, I learned a lot from them.
He was a smart man.
Yeah,
And he went
third grade education.
smart man, he knew how to do math, figures,
Yeah.
calculations, yeah.
Yeah, Croysdale depended on them.
Maybe that's where you got your smartness from. Maybe that's.
Well, my mother was smart.
But did your father and Uncle Andy get along?
Oh yeah, well they didn't see much of each other.
Because you're too busy working.
Yeah,
But one of the benefits of you working with your Uncle Andy in the sheet metal business is you went to every factory and every plant in Niagara Falls and Buffalo, New York.
yeah,
You went to every one of them,
yeah,
putting in some type of sheet metal.
yeah.
What kind of sheet metal would you put in these plants?
Duct work in there, duct work and air conditioning, not air conditioning, but dust collecting stuff. Clean the air out or something.
Okay, so you went with him there, and that gave you an opportunity to get the inside look at these factories.
Yeah,
And what did you see?
they're all dirty.
Would you ever work in Hooker?
No,
Would you ever work at Union
I
Carbide?
had a mask, I had to put a mask on your face.
Yeah. Would you ever work at Union Carbide?
No,
How about Olin Matheson?
no, they're all chemical plants there.
So you found out that Kimberly Clark, that made papers, was a clean operation.
Yeah,
So once you got out of the war, you knew where to go.
yeah.
That's amazing. Can I have the minutes, please? That was really good due diligence.
40 seconds.
And then you got a mustering out pay when you got out of the war. How much was that?
$300
Yeah, they gave you $300 to get your life in order. And how did they pay you?
once a month.
$100 a month.
Yeah,
And then they give you like 21 bucks for a bus fare?
yeah, bus fare. $29.95 per bus
Holy hell,
fare.
you got a great memory. And that got you back to Niagara Falls, right?
Yeah,
Wow.
That is something. 10 seconds.
That's amazing, Mr. Jeckovich.
well, a lot of people did that though.
You did it. You did well.
Well,
You did well. You're